My wife talked about an open marriage every day, and when I finally decided to try it, she immediately regretted it because the first person I fucked was her own sister. Be me, trying to figure out how I ended up in this mess. Keep wondering what different choices I could have made. Maybe there weren't any. How do you convince a grown adult their choices will destroy everything? You can't! All you can do is watch the fallout. Be married to Linda for 21 years. She used to be loving and caring. Now she thinks everything is some kind of test. Says it's to prove how deep our love runs. To me, it just shows how shallow her love really is. How selfish she's become. Be completely average guy. Not some romance novel hero. Just a normal dude with normal flaws. Get caught up in work sometimes. Lose my temper over stupid stuff occasionally. Not proud of it, but I'm only human. Life throws a lot at you. Between work, kids, and everything else, things get messy. Have amazing intimate moments with Linda a few times a week. Always great times. Both of us always eager for more when we can find time. Sometimes get distracted by basketball games, or new thriller novels, or family stuff. But always made time for each other when it counted. Everything seemed perfect. Have 2 beautiful daughters. Victoria, 17. Sophie, 15. They make life worth living. Marriage is stable. Finances are good. Life seems great. Then Linda starts talking about changes. Says our private life is too boring. Too vanilla. Claims we need to spice things up. I'm content with how things are. Try to be open-minded anyway. Go along with her ideas at first. We tried different approaches at first. I stayed in good shape, so it wasn't a problem. But after a while, it felt mechanical. Then out of nowhere, Linda suggests role-playing. No idea where she got that from. Her friends, maybe? Some women's magazine? Or one of those reality TV shows? It was fun at the beginning. Then it got weird, having to pretend to be Brad Pitt, while trying to focus on someone I should find attractive. Just felt completely unnatural. Finally put my foot down. Told her I couldn't keep doing it. That's when she got upset. Asked me when was the last time I went on a date. Reminded her we just went to that Greek restaurant she wanted to try. Just last Friday. Went to see that new action movie too. Her sister watched the kids. She says that's not what she meant. Wants to know when I last dated someone else. Raise my eyebrow at that. Ask if she's accusing me of something. She quickly backs down. Says she's not accusing. Just curious if I remember my last date before her. Tell her it was with Patricia. About 2 weeks before I met Linda. We had this huge fight about that date back then. She asks if I ever miss dating. Laugh and say hell no. Dating was awful. Not the actual dates. Those were fine. But everything else, asking someone out, worrying about rejection, those awkward first conversations. Tell her it was terrifying and stressful. She asks why I felt that way. Says she's just curious. Asks if I ever wondered about dating others. Tell her never. She reminds me how upset she was about Patricia. How important being exclusive was to her. I agree completely. Tell her that's why I married her. Marriage means commitment. Means not dating other people. She drops the subject. For a whole month. Not a word about it. Then one Friday night changes everything. We just had an amazing time together. No role-playing. No weird stuff. Just us being husband and wife. Then she kills the mood completely. We're lying there feeling good. She casually mentions Angela from her office. Says Angela's been checking me out. Apparently wants me to ask her to dance. Tell Linda it's flattering. But I only want to dance with my wife. Linda says she told Angela she wouldn't mind. Make it clear I have zero interest. Linda says she told Angela I wouldn't mind dancing with her. Make it very clear I have no intention of doing that. Then Linda throws me off even more. Asks if I'd be jealous if she danced with another man. Try to joke about it. Tell her brother would be fine. She doesn't laugh. Explains she wouldn't mind me dancing with women, as long as they're polite, and keep their hands to themselves. Then asks if there's anyone at the event I want to dance with. Tell her I don't remember anyone asking. She just nods. Says she's just curious. Don't know where she's going with this. Makes me really uneasy. Go to the den to play some video games. Try to get my mind off things. Linda follows me. Stands at the door. Just watching me. Don't look at her. Eventually, she goes back to bed. Join her once she's asleep. 2 months pass without anything weird. Until the promotion party at the Blue Rhino. They had this great band playing. We're sitting in this big circular booth. Linda starts talking to Angela again. Tells me Angela wants to dance. Asks if I could be a gentleman and dance with her. Remember our conversation from 2 months ago? Feel immediately awkward. Like Angela as a person. Don't want to hurt her feelings by refusing. But really don't want to dance with her. The thought of her body against mine makes me uncomfortable. Don't know how to turn her down politely. I enjoy dancing. But not when I feel so out of my element. Especially with someone like Angela. Who moves like a professional dancer. All smooth and effortless. Feel totally trapped. Finally stand up. Say I think I hear our song starting. Angela stands up too. Her tanned legs visible under her red dress. As the song ends, band switches to a slow number. Wonder why this is happening. Angela fits perfectly against me. her blonde hair tickling my face. She smells nice. When she looks up at me, her green eyes seem to melt into mine. Her perfect white smile against her sun-kissed skin. She's not exactly tanned, more of a natural golden tone. After the dance, Angela thanks me, mentions that Linda assured her I wouldn't mind. Compliment her dancing, but make sure to tell her I do mind. Tell her that while I genuinely like her, think she's one of the sweetest people I know. Dancing with her just isn't right for me. She laughs it off, says I'm safe with her, teases that if I weren't married, she'd be all over me, but insists our friendship matters most. Suggests we enjoy this one dance for what it is. Give her a light squeeze. We finish the song. Get back to the booth. Linda is nowhere to be seen. Scan the room looking for her. Finally spot her across the dance floor. She's in her black and silver dress, laughing with some young Mediterranean-looking guy. His hands are way too low on her waist. Feel my stomach turn. She sees me looking, just smiles and waves. That's it. The rage inside me explodes. She set me up with Angela, just so she could dance with this guy. Grab a couple 20s. Throw them on the table. Head straight for the exit. Angela watches me leave. Runs after me. Catches up at the door out of breath. Asks where I'm going. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell her we're being played. Explain how Linda's been hinting at dating other people. How she's been asking strange questions. Now it's clear this whole thing was a setup. Angela looks uncertain. Asks if I'm really just going to leave Linda there. Confirm that I am. She grabs my arm. Guilt all over her face. She apologizes. Tell her I'm not happy about being manipulated either. Angela asks for a ride to my house. Needs to get her car. As we get close to home, my phone starts buzzing. Don't even check it. Angela looks at her phone. Answers it speaking quietly. Tells Linda we're almost at my place. Explains leaving wasn't her idea. She wasn't about to be stranded. Warns Linda not to put her in that position again. Hangs up. Turns to me. Says Linda wants me to go back and get her. Sigh in frustration. Mutter about how childish Linda's games are. Can't believe this is happening. Angela explains everything. Linda's been talking to her co-worker Catherine. Catherine's obsessed with open marriage, claims it improved her love life with her husband Thomas, even though they barely talk. They're trying to involve their friends in their marriage. Linda bought into it, started believing she could do the same with us. Shocked when Angela adds that Linda knew. Knew Angela was always attracted to me. Almost choke on my breath. Immediately apologize for the awkward situation. Angela shrugs, admits she does find me attractive, but says she's the type who likes being with one person, not into sharing. Reassures me none of this is her doing. Promise to keep her updated on what happens. She gets in her car, drives away. Get back to the house. Grab my stuff from master bath. Move everything to guest room. Collect all my work items. Lock the master bedroom door. Try to get some sleep. The drinks probably helped, but only manage partial sleep. Hear a door slam downstairs. Footsteps in the hall. Doorknob twists a few times. Then there's tapping on the door. Linda's voice whispers through, trying not to wake the girls. Asking what's going on. Tapping and whispering continue. About 10 minutes straight, before her footsteps retreat, back to what used to be our bedroom, weirdly enough. Find myself hating the guest bed. Try to slip out before she wakes up. Doesn't work. She comes downstairs. While I'm packing files into my briefcase, she's furious. Demands to know what's wrong with me. Snap back. Tell her maybe she should ask herself that. Her voice shoots up. Asking what I mean. Grab my briefcase? Tell her everything I'm doing is because of her behavior. Tell her I can't even look at her right now. Warn her she's pushing me into permanent anger. Tell her to get her act together. Be ready to talk when I get home. Add that I'm picking up the girls, taking them to my mom's. We can settle everything then. Her face goes pale. Says she doesn't understand. Claims she might have plans tonight. Tell her it doesn't matter. If she wants to fix things, she needs to stop making excuses. Be ready to talk. If she's okay with how things are, she can do whatever she wants. Tell her to move her stuff to spare room. Because I like my bed. Make it clear she's not welcome in it anymore. She puffs herself up. But I'm already gone. Head to work. After getting girls from school, tell my mom Linda and I are having issues. Need some space? She hugs me. Says she loves me. Doesn't ask questions. Grateful for that. Get home later. Linda's there. She's made cookies. Plate of snickerdoodles with chocolate chips and M&Ms. Cup of coffee waiting for me. She hugs me briefly. Kisses my cheek. Sits next to me on the sofa. Help myself to a cookie. For a moment, it seems like we might fix things. But I'm not fooled. Tell Linda I'm upset about last night. Explain her actions were hurtful, embarrassing for both of us, and disrespectful to Angela, who's supposed to be her friend. Linda avoids my eyes, mumbles an apology. Can't help but think about my own behavior. Could have handled things differently, but I was trying to communicate, something she always shut down before. Ask her what she was thinking. After a long pause, Linda blurts out she's been considering dating other people. I'm stunned. Tell her there are lots of problems with that idea. First being that we're both married, she counters that other married couples do it. Points to open marriages. Says they improve relationships. Ask her for examples. She mentions Catherine and Thomas. Claims their open marriage brought them closer. Don't buy it? Suggest we look it up online to verify. She seems surprised, but agrees to sit next to me. Power up my laptop. Type, how many people have open marriages in search bar? Click first link. Results show less than 1% of Americans are in open marriages. Check several other sources. All confirm same statistic. Linda seems stunned. Points out that 1% is still significant. Around 3 million people. Raise my eyebrow. Suggest another search. How many Americans expect their partners to be faithful? Numbers don't lie. Over 95% expect fidelity in relationships. Ask Linda what she thinks that means. She shrugs, mutters something about people not being open-minded, expected to find more alternative lifestyles because she'd heard so much about it. Can't help but ask, how many of these open marriages actually last? She's reluctant to continue searching, but I push on. Type, how many open marriages end in divorce? Answer hits us both hard. 92% of open marriages end in divorce within 5 years. Break it down for her. Less than 1% of Americans are in open marriages. Out of 1 million people. That's fewer than 10,000 in open marriages. If 92% fail, only about 800 people from that 10,000 stay together after 5 years. That's 800 out of 1 million. Stare at her. Making sure she understands the odds. How does that sound to you? She hesitates. Admits the chances aren't great. Tell her successful open marriages only work when both partners agree. Point out that 100% of marriages fail when one partner is forced into it. Make it clear I won't go along with her experiment. Explain how resentment and jealousy would destroy us. Tell her I'm not desperate to keep her under these conditions. Remind her other women find me attractive. Tell her if I was a loser or sick individual, maybe I'd play along with her game. But I'm not that man. Linda weakly argues. Says not everything on internet is true. Acknowledge there's lots of misinformation, especially about open marriages. But don't let her off hook. Ask if she trusts Catherine so much. If she believes everything Catherine says, point out Catherine's been divorced multiple times. Linda doesn't know details of Catherine's history. Do quick search. Find Catherine's been divorced 4 times. So you're taking advice from someone who failed at marriage 4 times? Ask her incredulously. Linda defends Catherine. Claims she and Thomas have strong marriage. Not buying it. My frustration mounting. Where are you getting all this from, Linda? She finally admits. Catherine talks about it all the time. Says she and Thomas barely communicate. Spend all their time trying to involve friends in their relationship. Ask Linda how she thinks that will turn out. She suggests our private life has become stale. Immediately disagree. I'm perfectly happy with it. Say it firmly. Tell her desire for role-playing and weird stuff. That's what made things weird. Ask her to remember our last romantic moment. Ask if these ideas came from Catherine. Her face tells me everything. I'm stunned. Are you seriously telling me this is what Catherine's been pushing on you? Shake my head in disbelief. Our marriage is fine, Linda. Strong, even. Tell her she's got everything upside down. It's making me question everything. She insists it could be exciting to share experiences. Quickly shoot that down. Make it clear? If she pushes forward with this, our relationship is over. Linda looks stunned. What do you mean we're through? Her voice drops. Can tell she's disappointed. Does that mean divorce? Echo her disappointment. But with much harsher edge, you're the one willing to throw our marriage away over this. If she wants open marriage, she's not married to me anymore. Tell her she doesn't love me enough. To respect our vows. To keep family stable. Point out if we split, it's because she doesn't love me enough to stay faithful. Not because I can't accept her having other relationships. Accuse her of putting desires above family's well-being. Argument escalates. She declares she's determined to go through with it. Says it's inevitable. Reject her decision outright. No, it's not inevitable. My voice goes cold. You're not going to ruin this family. Tell her if she wants to pursue this. I'll see a lawyer. Our marriage will never survive it. Give her an ultimatum. She can forget about this nonsense. Start working on our marriage. Or we go our separate ways right now. Start divorce process. Suggest therapy. Even though I have little hope it'll work. Tell her this whole idea is product of Catherine's bad influence. Nothing good will come from it. Won't sit around and let her destroy our family. Linda taunts me. Claims she has freedom to do whatever she wants. Says I can't stop her. Tries to turn tables. Says I won't divorce her. Because I'm afraid of losing everything. Threatens to take girls and house. Leave me with alimony and child support. Stand firm. Think carefully, Linda. This isn't something you can undo once it's done. I'm not going to let you destroy our family over some fantasy. I refuse to play along no matter what you threaten. She steps toward me, tries to embrace me, push her away. Don't touch me. Say it sharply. I need to think about this. Stand up, my resolve hardening. Tell her I'll let her know what I decide. But truth is, don't need time to think. Need time to plan. Can't just let her walk all over me. She's right about one thing. Complexities of divorce are mess. Have to be strategic. If I'm going to protect myself and girls, leave her standing there. Lock myself in master bedroom. Spend time on computer and phone. Get financial plan in place. But real issue is girls. Under Georgia law, children over 14 get to choose custodial parent. Not about to let Linda use that as leverage. Certain about Sophie. My daddy's girl has always been my rock. Know she'll stand by me. But Victoria is different story. She loves me, no question. But adores her mother just as much. Makes everything harder. Hope if I explain how Linda's using them as leverage for open marriage plans, they'll see through her manipulation. Choose to stand with me. Idea of dragging them into this mess, using them as pawns in my own fight, for control of our family, disgusts me. It's cynical plan. Hate myself for considering it. But I'm not one changing rules here. Linda is, if she'd told me years ago that she'd want to explore other relationships after 21 years, would have walked away without second thought. No, she would have too. We both knew it. But now she wants to rewrite rules, force me into compliance, using kids as leverage in sick game. Not going to play along? 2 nights later, have another conversation. Linda starts with apology. Not inclined to accept it. She tries turning blame back on me. As always, claims I'm the one who wants other women. No better than to fall for her deflection. Ask her point blank about therapy and marriage counseling. She denies having any issues. Tells me I'm the one causing problems. Says she isn't planning anything specific. Just wants to keep options open. Press her on contradiction in her logic. Point out I've had plenty of opportunities to cheat over the years, but stayed faithful out of commitment. Tell her successful marriage isn't built on empty possibilities or fantasies, built on effort, compromise, and loyalty. She's the one lacking commitment. Voice my concern about how her actions affect our children, our promises to each other, even our faith. She brushes it off, doesn't care. The kids? She'll deal with them later. Clear she isn't considering how this affects family. Tell her she won't be telling them anything about her plans. It's low blow, but need her to understand how far she's pushed me. Later that day, after tense silence between us, Linda drops her bombshell. Says she's going to get kids no matter what. Threatens that as their mother, she'll undoubtedly get custody. Make visitations nightmare for me. Tells me not to say word to them, especially about her plans. Can't take it. Anger in me flares up. After heated exchange, she storms off, making enough noise for anyone nearby to hear. Obviously doesn't care who hears her. As I climb stairs, hear faint gasp and muffled sob. My stomach drops. Reach the top. Find girls are gone. Check Sophia's room first, then Victoria's. Hear quiet sounds of muffled voices there. Knock on Victoria's door. Who is it? She asks. Tell her it's me. She opens door. Both girls have been crying. Step inside. Sit down between them on bed. Hug them both tightly. Feel guilty for dragging them into this mess. But they need to know what's really going on. Need to hear it from me, not Linda's twisted version. I'm sorry you had to hear that. Say it softly. But I couldn't let her continue with these lies. Victoria, always the protector, reassures me. Says it's not my fault. Places all blame on her mother. Admits she hadn't believed me at first. But now she understands. Sophie, on other hand, is in disbelief, struggling to process how her mother could do this. I don't get it, Sophie says. How could she do this to you, to us? Shrug, my voice heavy. I don't know, sweetheart. I really don't. She's been influenced by wrong people. I've tried everything to change her mind. Pause for a moment. She doesn't care about family anymore. It's all about her and what she wants. Sophie asks if Linda is sick. Honestly, don't have answer. I don't know, I really don't. But I know I can't keep living like this. I've asked her to go to therapy, to at least try to save our marriage. But she's not interested. Look between my 2 daughters. Heart aching. I'm sorry you had to see all this. But we need to stick together, okay? I'm going to do everything I can to fix this. But right now, all I can ask of you is to keep calm. Don't say anything to your mother. Not yet. Explain my plan to them. Going to wait until Linda thinks I've given up. When she goes out on date with someone, probably that Mediterranean guy, I'll be ready. Take the girls and leave. Can't try talking her out of it. Too late for that. Ask them. Are you with me on this? Or do you want to stay with your mom? Sophie exchanges glance with Victoria, then says, No, Dad, we're going with you. My heart swells with relief. Despite everything, despite the pain, my daughters are on my side. After 21 years of disappointment, finally have something to hold on to. For next 2 months, Linda and I barely speak. Live like distant roommates, each in our own corner of house. She moves to spare bedroom, while I stay in what used to be our shared space. Every time I try to engage her in conversation, try to reason with her, interactions turn cold and strained. Clear there's no getting through to her. One evening, while both working in garden, bring it up again. Ask if she truly believes our marriage is getting stronger. If fiery love she envisions is reality? If situation is as exciting and fulfilling as she hoped? She looks at me. For first time, see flicker of doubt in her eyes. But it's brief, quickly replaced by anger. Everything is your fault. She snaps. If you weren't so stubborn and prideful, things would be perfect. You're the one holding us back. Can't believe it. Perfect for who, Linda? For you? Because from where I stand, this is far from perfect. This is a mess. Challenge her claim that she loves me more than I love her. Tell her my love was about commitment, about staying faithful, about not needing to explore relationships with others. Tell her actions, things she's suggesting, feel selfish, not loving. If she truly loved me, she would put our family first. Stop this madness. When did you stop loving me? Ask with breaking voice. Tears fill her eyes, but she denies it. I haven't stopped loving you. She cries, voice shaky. I love you more than ever. Not convinced. Then why does it feel like you're driving stake through my heart? Her expression hardens. Without missing beat, announces she's going out with Mediterranean guy. Says his name is Christopher. Friday night. Says I should come along. Promises it'll be exciting experience. Reluctantly agree. If she's going to do this, might as well tag along. Keep eye on things. But deep down, already regret it. She rushes across garden, gets ready, hugs me tightly. Thanks me for being willing to participate. Feels sick to stomach. Can't take it anymore. Have to call Angela. When tell Angela about plan, she's furious. Didn't even know she was being set up to be with me when Linda invited her to go clubbing with Christopher. Upon hearing full story, Angela swears she'll confront Linda. Ask her for help. Explain I'm planning to leave Linda. Need her to trust me. At first, Angela is skeptical. But after calming her down, explaining my plan, she agrees to help. Going to pretend to go along with Linda's plan. But once we're at club, I'll make my move. Angela will help get girls to my new place. While I pack up our belongings, throughout the week, Linda acts like everything's fine. Like there's no tomorrow. Makes my skin crawl. On Friday morning, before going to work, ask her one last time. If she's sure about her decision, remind her we've had an enjoyable week together. Things don't have to go this way, but she's resolute. We'll talk about it afterward. She says, brushing off my concerns, can't shake feeling. Everything's about to change. Not sure if I'm ready for what comes next. She thanks me for agreeing to go along. Promises night will be best yet. Let's get this day over with. I think to myself. When Angela arrives at house Friday evening, she looks absolutely stunning. Linda, cute and petite with that fresh-faced look, has always been alluring. But Angela is entirely different league. She's tall with curves in all right places. Those curves seem to defy gravity. Body that speaks to more than just good diet and exercise. She's wearing short, tight emerald sheath dress, adorned with beading that shimmers as she moves. Looking breathtaking. Feel lump form in throat. But push it down! I'm dressed in blazer, dark slacks, simple black t-shirt under coat. Enough to give illusion of man. Still trying to hold it together. When Angela steps inside, her eyes light up seeing my attire. Trying to seduce me, Robert? She teases with smile. Chuckle and shake head. Strictly business tonight. Any other time I'd be happy to entertain such notion. Say with wink. She smirks, feigning regret. Too bad, she says, giving me once over. She steps closer. Let me get glimpse of legs beneath tight fabric. Flirtation is obvious, but need her to play along. Whole charade about making Linda think. I'm fully in game, as raise hands toward hem of her dress, pulling teasingly upward. Angela hesitates. Linda might come in any second. She warns, grin and lean closer. She won't suspect thing. This is all part of act. We both share laugh. As continue playful interaction, though can't deny thrill, of being so close to Angela in that moment. Before can fully appreciate view, door swings open. Linda steps into room. Her eyes widen at sight of us. For a split second, see her mask of control slip, but then forces smile. Starting early, are we? Shot back at her. Well, maybe you and Christopher should be ones getting room. Give her wink, voice dripping with sarcasm. Linda smirks in return. Not missing beat, without another word. We all head out. Christopher already at club when arrive. Shake his hand firmly, just as planned. My grip like vice, product of years spent powerlifting without straps. As soon as take his hand, see him flinch. His knees wobble slightly, tries to keep composure, but can tell pain is getting to him. Guy has that pretty boy vibe. Soft hands. Meticulously groomed, One of those types, probably more concerned about his hair than anything else. Can't resist. So, Christopher, are you a model? Or one of those Instagram influencers? Ask genuinely curious? He laughs awkwardly. What? No, I'm not a model. I mean, come on. That's not really my thing. Raise eyebrow. Ha, okay. Well, what about social media? You ever consider becoming YouTube star? Say testing theory shared with Angela. Angela nearly chokes on her drink, clearly struggling to hold in laughter. Linda shoots me glare, her frustration building by second. Christopher, completely clueless, looks between us, oblivious to what's really going on. Decide to let it go for a moment. Angela leans in, voice low. You're a mean man, Robert, but can see glint of amusement in her eyes. Yeah, well, it's been quite a night. Reply. Nudging her toward booth with wink. Evening starting to feel like twisted performance. Need to keep composure. By time we reach booth, Angela is doing her job perfectly. Dance with her twice. But it's third time that really gets my attention. She's doing everything short of getting too close. On dance floor, her body moving in perfect sync with mine. For a moment, almost forget about mess I'm in. Meanwhile, Linda is off with Christopher. Doesn't take long before find Angela's gaze again. Something deeper in her eyes. Something beyond fun and games of evening. Can't resist any longer. Ready for big show? Ask her softly. Her eyes lock onto mine. See hint of something more serious in them. Can't hold back. Kiss is everything had expected and more. Not just a kiss. It's release. Culmination of everything been holding back. Surpasses all expectations. But just as kiss deepens, hear unmistakable sound of footsteps. Linda and Christopher return to booth. Pull back quickly. Flash a grin. Oh no! Exclaim mimicking late-night comedy show. Look who's back. Angela catches on immediately. So does Linda. Christopher, however, remains clueless, looking around in confusion. Angela stifles her laughter. Shoots glance at Linda, whose face is puffed up like pufferfish, her smug expression completely wiped out. Shrug, not missing beat. Angela and I are going to take off. You two have fun. Linda, visibly frustrated, but trying to keep cool, walks us to door. Are you okay? She asks, mix of concern and irritation in voice. You've been acting like an idiot tonight. Sigh. I'm not okay, Linda. But if you're going to stay, then this is it. This is your choice. It's permanent. She almost seems excited. This is going to be great for us, Robert. Just relax and enjoy yourself. She urges, hint of smirk creeping back into voice, shot her pointed look. Enjoy myself? You're planning to enjoy yourself with Christopher. Say, emphasizing his name. Linda hesitates, then reluctantly confirms. Maybe. I'll get home around midnight. And spice things up with him. Doesn't seem to notice sting in her words. Slap forehead. Remembering her plans with Christopher. Fine. Say to her. But if Angela and I are still busy when you get back, keep it quiet, okay? Linda kisses me on cheek, her lips lingering a moment longer than necessary. Enjoy yourself, she says, tone still dripping with smugness. Turn and walk out, feeling finality of it all settling in. In car, Angela asks if I'm sure about everything. After everything I've been through, Angela. Yeah, I'm sure. Say with flat voice. I've cried enough tears. I'm done now. This phase is over. Drive to house. When arrive, see moving truck already packed. Girls busy hauling their clothes downstairs, packing them into large plastic containers. Movers wrapping up, only taking essential items. The beds, the TVs, the electronics, the huge flat screen, only replaced 3 months ago, with even bigger one. Once everything packed, Angela takes girls in her car. To our new place, stay behind with movers. Taking final look at house. Emptiness hits hard. 21 years of memories. Linger in walls. In rooms. In silence. With heavy sigh. Remove wedding ring. Place it on kitchen table. Next to my cell phone. Girl's phone's already there. Signaling it's time to go. House is gone. That life, that version of me, is gone. Can feel weight of it in chest. But at same time, there's sense of freedom. Like finally stepping out of long dark tunnel. Lock up. Load tools into truck. Drive away. Leaving old house behind. Girls excited about new place. Especially backyard pool. Can't wait to try it out. You like that, baby? Ask Sophie as she gazes out window at new house. Definitely, she says, grinning. Angela, ever mysterious, sitting in front seat, looking as amazing as always. Her smile effortless as ever. Things are changing. Somehow feel like finally moving forward. Even if she were Margot Robbie. Too tired to care. Not that I'd prefer Margot Robbie over Angela. But you get point. Think Angela senses exhaustion in me. With dazzling smile. Places quick gentle peck on my cheek. Before she's gone. Just like that. Out of my life for a moment. Lingering scent of her perfume. Only reminder she was there. Sweet, intoxicating, and fleeting. Can barely muster energy to process what's happening. Night has been blur. Not sure if exhaustion is physical, emotional, or a combination of both. We go to bed. To my surprise, actually managed to sleep. Not well, but sleep. Not used to being this drained. But there's strange sense of peace in it. Maybe just too tired to care anymore. Next morning, get up early, make coffee. Hope caffeine will kickstart something in me. Girls join me while later. Sit together at kitchen bar, eating cinnamon rolls and drinking hot chocolate. Peaceful normality feels like brief escape from chaos that's become my life. Girls busy watching cartoons, their giggles filling air. Their innocent energy, stark contrast to storm that passed through our lives. By noon, they're out in pool, wearing colorful swimsuits, splashing around, while I lounge nearby, barely paying attention. Mind wandering, can't help but wonder what Linda's doing. Probably frantic, calling everyone she knows, asking where we've gone, trying to figure out what happened. Thought of her scurrying around, probably panicking, brings small sense of satisfaction. She's going to have hard time finding us. Not working anymore, sold business, made decent amount. Now don't have to answer to anyone. Girls aren't in school yet. It's summer vacation. Our life has strange stillness to it. Not going anywhere, except maybe grocery store. When we do go out, either walk or take bus. The truck, one Linda had been so fond of. Parked safely in garage. Sure she's reported it stolen by now, or at least thinks I took it, but without truck. She's left to rely on electronics to track us down. Her messages flood our inboxes. Notice she's contacting girls, sending Instagram DMs, tweets and direct messages, hoping for a response. We read them, but don't reply. Feels good to make her work for it. Let her figure out where we are. Let her chase me. Know she'll eventually get desperate enough to look for me. She has bills to pay, job to go to, life to live. But I'm under no such pressure. Not making any payments. Sure as hell not going to be one to call her. Only takes few weeks before things escalate. At grocery store one morning, man approaches me, middle-aged, wearing cheap polyester suit, looking like someone who doesn't belong here. Asks if I'm Robert. When confirmed, immediately introduces himself as private detective. Hired by Linda, tells me his job is to find me, report my location to her. Can tell by his tone. He's expecting reaction from me. Too tired for games. Take a hike. Say brushing him off. Without second thought. He's not pleased. His voice takes threatening edge. You don't want to make this harder on yourself? I'll be reporting this to her. Suggest you call her before I do. Be better for everyone. Don't flinch. Go ahead. Mutter. Don't plan to contact her. Turn and walk away. But no, it's not over. Detective doesn't follow. But certain Linda has other cards to play. Sure enough, within hour police show up. Got their tip from Linda, who'd spun some story about me kidnapping girls. Officers polite at first, but their questions pointed. Ask me to come down to station. To sort things out. When refuse. Make it clear don't have much choice. Get arrested, of course. Girls taken in another car. By time we arrive at station, Linda already there, pacing like tiger in cage. When girls see her, they don't rush to greet her. Don't even flinch. Instead, push her away. Female officer escorts them to another room. As for me, led into room with two detectives, who waste no time trying to break me. Grill me for details, asking why I took girls, where we had gone, if had any intention of returning them. Hand over my ID. Point out they already have my driver's license. Doesn't seem to make difference. Don't say much. Just that I intend to remain silent. Want to speak to attorney. That shuts them up. At least for a while. Overhear one mutter something about me lawyering up. Don't care. Not giving them anything without lawyer present. Call William Parker. Shows up within 45 minutes, just like he said he would. Takes about 3 hours to clear everything up. Girls confirm they're with me willingly. Deny any claims of kidnapping. Refuse to even speak to Linda. William is pro. Points out there's no court order regarding custody. Under Georgia law, both parents have equal rights. Even mentions kids over 14 can choose which parent they want to live with. Police don't have much choice, but to let us go. When walk out, Angela waiting for us, looking as unruffled as ever. Linda, however, is mess, standing there in parking lot, crying her eyes out. She turns toward me. In that moment, almost feel sorry for her. Almost, she drops to her knees, face twisted in anguish, not moved. Remind her how I begged her not to get involved with Christopher, since she didn't listen. Why should I care now? She sobs, pleading with me, asking not to treat her this way, expressing regret. I'm done. Agree to talk. Ask her where she wants to go. She wants to go home, but not interested in going back to that house. Can't bear thought of seeing it, knowing what went down there. Suggest we go to my place. She reluctantly agrees. We drive in silence. She suggests I ride with her, but decline. Call cab instead. When get to my place? Let her in. Get her cup of coffee. Sit at kitchen bar. Air between us thick, with weight of everything that happened. After a while, she breaks silence. What do you want, Robert? Shot back. Voice flat. Haven't mentioned wanting anything. She clarifies. Voice quieter now. What do I need to do? To get you to come home? To see girls. Don't answer right away. Don't have control over what girls want. That's on them, not me. She glares at me, accusing me of turning girls against her, suggesting Catherine had been one. To tell me everything. Ask her if Catherine is some kind of oracle. She doesn't answer. Can see her confusion. Finally tell her truth. She had done this. Her actions had poisoned their perception of her. Remind her of night in living room. When she threatened me, when girls were sitting on stairs, overhearing every word, her face drains of color, starts sobbing uncontrollably. Her pleading is pathetic. Shadow of desperation once felt. Respond coldly, indifferent. You made this mess. Now you need to fix it. When she asks what can be done about us, give her only answer I can. File for divorce. She doesn't want divorce, just wants me to come home, but already made my decision. I am home. Tell her, don't live with you anymore. Her eyes fill with tears as she apologizes, admitting it was a mistake to push me into this. But it's too late. Damage already done. She pleads for forgiveness, voice trembling. Proposes we see marriage counselor or therapist. Can't bring myself to believe in any of it anymore. Issue isn't that I don't want it. Say flatly. Issue is that you wanted everything to stay same while you did whatever you wanted. I can't fix that. Lean forward. Tone hard. File for divorce. Do it within next couple months, or I will. Her face twists in frustration. She lashes out. You're a fool, Robert. You took all our money. You sold business. Emptied our accounts. What did you do with it, huh? Take breath. Hold my ground. Sold business at loss, Linda. Didn't take anything wasn't entitled to. Pause. Let weight of next words sink in. And I don't have cent of it left. See confusion flicker across her face. But don't explain. Don't need to. What had done was part of bigger plan. One hadn't shared with anyone. Least of all her money I'd spent had been moved. Long before any of this came to head. Securely stashed in offshore account. Sale of business had been ugly one. Sold it to Norwegian company. For much less than worth. Less than owed in taxes. But surplus had been used to offset future liabilities. Had overpaid IRS. Government would never know. What had done with rest? As for brokerage accounts, they remained untouched. No, we'll have to give up half to secure girls' future. But that's price willing to pay. Girls' trust fund already set up, ensuring they'll be financially comfortable for next few years. No matter what, been making other preparations too. Every time went out, used debit card, specifically requesting cash back from various stores, Walmart, local convenience stores, grocery shops around town. Not much each time, just between $160 and $200. But over course of weeks it built up. Had asked 3 people in each transaction. Soon enough had decent stash. All of it legitimate. When needed it. Had stash of cash hidden away. In old chest and storage unit. Real sting of conversation comes. When tell her about house. You can keep it. Say matter-of-factly, there's enough equity in it for you to sell. Clear mortgage and get by for a while. Maybe you should move in with Christopher. I'm sure he has room for you. Smile coldly. Love to see how his wife reacts to that. Her eyes go wide. She freezes. I didn't know he was married. Raise eyebrow. Is that so? How convenient. Laugh dry. Fact is, you don't care about his marital status. Do you? She stammers, visibly caught off guard. No, I told you to move on. Continue. Voice hardening. File for divorce. She tries to follow me, as move to leave, but don't look back. Can feel her desperation. Her hands wringing as sobs in doorway. Her words hang in air. Please just come home. Please just come home for girls. I love you. I miss you. Stand at door unmoving, until she stops. With tear-filled eyes, she asks, please tell girls I love them, and that I'm sorry. Nod stiffly. I'll pass message on, but make it clear. I'm not coming back. I'm not filing for divorce, because I don't want one. I want you to come home, but we both know that's never going to happen. She tries one last time, calling me closed-minded, telling me she hadn't seen this coming, keeps saying she loves me, that she wants to keep trying, but too exhausted to argue. I'll see you out. Say cutting her off. When she leaves, Call Angela. She brings girls home, but doesn't come in. Girls visibly more upset with mother than had been before, if that was even possible. Don't want to hear Linda's message. Not about to force them. Know what they're thinking. Linda's one who tore everything apart. Don't need to hear her plead for forgiveness when they're so angry with her. 2 days later, she shows up again, this time carrying dinner. Homemade lasagna with roasted vegetables and big basket of garlic bread. When Victoria answers door, Linda tries to pull her into hug, but Victoria immediately stiff-arms her. Linda forces smile, greeting me with soft, "Hey baby," but Victoria already calling for my attention. Hear Linda apologizing, telling me she loves me, saying how much she misses me. Victoria cuts her off quickly. "I don't want to hear it," she says, voice harsh. "Stay away." Watch Linda's face crumble. Take basket of food from her. Lead her into living room. She collapses onto sofa, burying face in hands as she sobs, feeling weight of her failure. Can't entirely blame her. She had done this to herself. What you did to girls was hurtful. Tell her, trying to keep tone even, and I doubt they'll ever trust you again. Feel sorry for her in that moment. She'd thrown grenade into our lives, now had to face fallout. She tries again, offering dinner as if it would make everything okay. Give in, though no, it won't change anything. Agree to talk to girls, while she finds dishes in kitchen. Upstairs girls are furious, Victoria especially livid. She ruined everything, Sophie says, voice thick with emotion. She destroyed our family. How could she do that? I know. Say, putting hand on her shoulder. She threw grenade into our lives, and now she has to deal with consequences. Despite her beliefs, Linda was not problem. She had made her choices. Time for her to take responsibility. Reassure girls my love hasn't changed. I'll always be here for you. Choice is yours. You can stay with me, or you can go with your mom. But know this, my love for you will never change. Victoria, still angry, refuses to eat with her mother. I'd rather die, she mutters before storming off. Sophie agrees they'll stay with me. Go downstairs to eat. But dinner is awkward. Linda tries to engage with girls. They give her one-word answers. Clear none of them willing to forgive her yet. When dinner's over, clean up in silence. Pack Linda's things. Get ready for her to leave. When Linda asks Sophie for hug, Sophie turns away. You're not my mom anymore, she says, voice cold as ice. Linda's face crumples. Takes her nearly half hour to compose herself enough to leave. But when she does, can't bring myself to feel sorry for her. Don't feel responsible for her breakdown. Just relish satisfaction of knowing she finally realized this was truly over. As weeks turn into months, Linda continues to visit, about once a week, but each time, girls reject her more forcefully. She never files for divorce, hoping somehow to convince me to move back in with her. After 6 months, finally take matters into own hands, file for divorce. When papers are signed and divorce finalized, see look on her face, as if final reality had finally hit her. Court grants her visitation rights. But somehow, every time she plans to visit, something always comes up. Don't care anymore. Hope she finds someone who fits her open lifestyle. As for me, remain unmarried, dedicating life solely to my girls. They're all that matters now.